Hello, and welcome back to Daily English Talk. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy to have you here today. If you're someone who wants to speak English more fluently, then you're going to love this episode.
Absolutely. Today we're talking about something very real and very practical, how I practice English speaking. You know, learning English is one thing, but actually speaking it confidently is another.
That's right. Many learners study grammar and vocabulary every day, but they still feel shy or nervous when it's time to speak. So in this episode, Jason is going to share how he practiced speaking English step by step, even when he didn't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah, I've been there too. I remember how hard it was in the beginning. But trust me, if you practice the right way, you can make amazing progress, even by yourself.
We'll talk about real-life methods, fun activities, and simple tips that anyone can follow. So whether you're at home, walking, or on your way to work, stay with us till the end.
And don't forget, at the end of this podcast, we'll share a small speaking practice activity that you can do right after listening.
Sounds great. Let's get started and talk about why practicing English speaking is so important. So, Jason, before we jump into your story, let's talk about something important: why practicing English speaking really matters. Many learners focus a lot on reading and writing, but they forget that speaking is a skill you have to build through practice.
Exactly, Julia. Speaking is just like playing a sport or learning a musical instrument. The more you practice, the more comfortable and natural it feels. You can't just learn speaking by reading a book. You have to open your mouth and speak.
That's so true. And I think many learners wait for the perfect time to start speaking. But in reality, the perfect time is now. Even if your grammar isn't perfect or your vocabulary is small, every time you speak, you're improving.
Yes, practice helps you in three big ways. First, it builds confidence. Second, it helps you remember words faster. And third, it makes your pronunciation smoother over time.
Right. And when you practice often, you stop translating from your native language. You start thinking directly in English. That's when you really start feeling fluent.
Exactly. So, if you're listening right now, remember this. Speaking English every day, even for 10 minutes, is way better than studying grammar for hours without speaking.
I love that. Okay, Jason, now I'm curious, how did you start practicing English speaking in the beginning? Was it easy or difficult for you?
Oh, it was definitely not easy. Let me tell you how it all began and how I faced my early struggles with speaking English.
So, Jason, you said it wasn't easy in the beginning. Can you tell us more about that? What kind of struggles did you face when you first started speaking English?
Oh, there were many, Julia. When I first tried to speak English, I was really shy. I always worried about making mistakes. Sometimes I knew the words, but when I tried to speak, my mind just went blank.
Yes, I think that happens to almost every learner. We know what we want to say, but when it's time to talk, we freeze.
Exactly! I was also afraid that people would laugh at me or not understand me. That fear made me avoid speaking. I would just listen or stay quiet during conversations.
That's very relatable. Many learners feel the same. They're afraid of being judged. But what helped you overcome that fear, Jason?
Honestly, the first step was accepting that mistakes are normal. Once I told myself it's okay to make mistakes, I started speaking more. I realized that the more I practiced, the easier it became.
That's such an important message. Listeners, if you feel scared or nervous when speaking English, remember even fluent speakers were beginners once.
Exactly. The key is to start, even if it feels uncomfortable. And in the next part, I'll share how I actually began practicing English speaking every single day.
So, Jason, after you accepted that making mistakes is okay, how did you actually start practicing English every day?
Well, Julia, at first I didn't have anyone to talk to, so I decided to talk to myself. Yes, I literally practiced alone. I would stand in front of a mirror and describe what I was doing or how my day was going.
That's such a smart idea. I think self-practice is one of the best ways to start, especially when you don't have a partner.
Exactly. I started small, just 5 minutes a day. I'd say simple things like, I'm brushing my teeth, or I'm going to work today. Over time, I began talking longer, sharing my thoughts or feelings in English.
That's a great routine. And the best part is, you can do it anywhere at home, on a walk, or even when you're cooking.
Yes, the key is to make speaking a daily habit. Even if you only speak for a few minutes, do it every day. It builds your confidence and helps you think faster in English.
I love that. So you started small, stayed consistent, and built your routine step by step.
Exactly, Julia. And next, I'll talk about one of my favorite methods that really helped me build confidence talking to myself.
Jason, you just mentioned one of my favorite techniques, talking to yourself. Many learners don't realize how powerful this simple method can be. How did it really help you?
Honestly, Julia, it changed everything for me. When I started talking to myself, I felt more relaxed. There was no pressure, no one to judge me, and no fear of making mistakes. I could just focus on speaking.
That makes so much sense. And the best part is you can do it anytime, anywhere.
Exactly. I used to describe my day aloud. For example, I'd say things like, I'm making breakfast, or I feel tired today, but I'll still practice English. Sometimes I'd imagine a short conversation like ordering coffee or meeting a friend.
That's a fun idea. It helps learners prepare for real-life situations.
Yes, and it also helps improve thinking in English. When you talk to yourself often, your brain starts to connect ideas directly in English without translating from your native language.
That's a great point. So even though you were practicing alone, you were building your fluency, confidence, and thinking skills at the same time.
Exactly, Julia. Talking to yourself might feel strange at first, but it's one of the fastest ways to grow. And soon, you'll be ready to speak with others, which brings us to our next part. Speaking with friends and language partners.
So Jason, after practicing by yourself, I'm sure you wanted to speak with real people too. How did you start doing that?
Yes, exactly. After a few months of self-practice, I wanted to test what I'd learned. I started speaking with my friends who were also learning English. We made a small rule we'd only talk in English, even if we made mistakes.
That's a great idea. It makes learning more fun when you do it with friends.
Definitely. We used to meet for short conversations about school, movies, or daily life. Sometimes we even corrected each other's mistakes gently. It helped a lot.
That's such a helpful way to learn. And what about learners who don't have English-speaking friends nearby?
Good question. I also found language partners online. There are apps and websites where you can meet people who want to practice English too. You can have short video or voice calls, and it's completely free.
That's amazing. So you can practice with people from all around the world.
Exactly, Julia. It's a great way to learn about different accents and cultures too. Speaking with friends and partners gives you real practice. It builds confidence faster than studying alone.
I love that. And now that you mention technology, I think our listeners will enjoy learning how to use it to improve their speaking even more.
Yes, let's talk about that next, how technology can help you become a better English speaker.
Jason, nowadays we have so much technology around us: phones, apps, videos, podcasts. Did you use technology to practice your English speaking too?
Oh yes, Julia. Technology helped me a lot. I started by watching YouTube videos and listening to English podcasts every day. I didn't just listen, though I would repeat what I heard, trying to copy the pronunciation and tone.
That's a smart way to practice. It's like having a free English teacher right in your pocket.
Exactly. I also used recording apps on my phone. I'd record myself speaking, then listen again to hear my mistakes and improve. It felt a bit strange at first, but it really helped me speak more clearly.
That's such a great tip. I think learners can also use English-speaking apps or AI chat tools to have small conversations. Even chatting with an app helps you think and respond faster in English.
Right. And the best part is technology makes practice fun. You can listen to your favorite topics in English, watch short videos, or even talk with virtual tutors anytime.
Exactly. So there's no excuse you can practice anywhere, anytime with just your phone.
That's right, Julia. And one of the most powerful ways I use technology was through something called shadowing, repeating exactly what native speakers say.
Ah, the shadowing method. That sounds interesting. Let's tell our listeners all about it next. So, Jason, you just mentioned something really interesting: shadowing. Many English learners have heard about it, but not everyone knows how to do it. Can you explain what shadowing is?
Of course. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a podcast, a video, or a movie, and then repeat what they say immediately, just like an echo. You copy their pronunciation, speed, and tone.
Ah, so it's like speaking along with them almost at the same time.
Exactly. It might feel difficult at first, but it's one of the best ways to sound more natural. When I started shadowing, I chose short clips about 10 to 20 seconds and repeated them again and again until I sounded close to the speaker.
That's a great idea. It helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and even confidence. And the best part is, learners can choose any topic they enjoy: movies, songs, or short interviews.
Yes, and when you shadow regularly, your mouth and ears get used to the sounds of English. You start to speak more smoothly, almost like native speakers.
That's amazing. So learners can start with just a few sentences each day, right?
Exactly, Julia. Start small, stay consistent, and soon you'll notice a big difference in how naturally you speak.
I love that. Now, let's talk about how you took your speaking practice out into the real world.
Yes, using English in real-life situations was the next big step for me.
So, Jason, after all that practice at home, talking to yourself, shadowing, using technology, how did you start using English in real-life situations?
That was a big step for me, Julia. At first I was nervous, but I told myself, if I want to speak fluently, I have to use English in real life. So I started small. I'd say simple phrases when ordering food or asking for directions.
That's great. Real-life practice helps you feel more natural, even if you only use short sentences.
Exactly. I remember the first time I ordered coffee in English, I was shaking. But after doing it a few times, I started feeling proud and confident. Every small success gave me more courage.
That's such good advice. I think learners can practice in daily situations like greeting people, shopping, or even chatting online in English.
Yes, the key is to use English, not just study it. Even saying hello, thank you, or how are you in English every day makes a big difference.
Absolutely. The more you use English in your daily life, the faster it becomes natural.
That's right, Julia. And speaking of daily life, staying motivated to keep practicing is just as important.
Exactly. So next, let's talk about how to stay motivated and keep your English speaking routine strong. Jason, one challenge many learners face is staying motivated. How did you keep yourself motivated to practice English every day?
That's a great question, Julia. At first, it was tough. Some days I felt lazy or thought, will this really help? But I realized that small daily practice adds up. Even 10 minutes every day makes a huge difference over time.
Yes, consistency is key, but sometimes learners lose motivation if they don't see immediate results. How did you handle that?
I focused on small wins. For example, I celebrated when I could order coffee in English without hesitation, or when I could have a short conversation with a friend. These little successes kept me excited to practice more.
That's a smart approach, and I think setting realistic goals helps too, like speaking 5 sentences a day or learning one new phrase and using it.
Exactly! I also reminded myself why I was learning English to communicate confidently, travel, and connect with people. Keeping that goal in mind helped me push through challenges.
That's inspiring. So, motivation comes from small wins, realistic goals, and remembering your bigger purpose.
Yes, Julia. And even when you feel tired or discouraged, if you practice just a little each day, you'll keep improving.
That's a great message for our listeners. Next, let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when practicing English and how to fix them. Jason, I think it's important to talk about some common mistakes learners make when practicing English. Can you share a few?
Sure, Julia. One big mistake is being afraid of making mistakes. Many learners avoid speaking because they want to be perfect. But perfection slows you down.
Right. Another mistake is not practicing consistently. Some learners study a lot one day, then skip several days. Consistency is key.
Exactly. And a third mistake is focusing only on grammar instead of actually speaking. Grammar is important, but fluency comes from real practice.
That's so true. So remember, don't fear mistakes, practice every day, and focus on speaking, not just grammar.
Yes, avoid these mistakes, and your speaking will improve much faster.
Now, let's do a mini practice activity for our listeners. Jason, what do you suggest?
Okay, this is simple. Repeat after me. Today is a good day. I am speaking English clearly and confidently.
Great. Now say it slowly first, then faster. Try to feel the words naturally like you're having a real conversation.
Yes, you can do this anytime in front of a mirror, while walking, or even while cooking. Just speak out loud and repeat short sentences every day.
Even practicing just 1 minute a day like this makes a big difference over time.
Exactly. Small steps every day lead to big progress.
Jason, we've talked a lot about methods and practice, but I think it's also important to connect speaking English with real-life motivation.
Absolutely, Julia. For me, every time I spoke English in real situations, ordering food, talking with friends online, or joining a class, I felt a sense of achievement. It reminded me why I was learning in the first place.
Yes, that feeling of using English to communicate in the real world keeps you going. It's not just about studying, it's about connecting, expressing yourself, and feeling confident.
Exactly. And every small step, like asking a question or saying a full sentence, builds your confidence. Over time, these small moments add up and make a huge difference.
So, listeners, remember every time you speak English, you're not just practicing, you're growing, connecting, and achieving your goals.
That's right, Julia. And with that motivation in mind, let's wrap up this episode with a few final words and a call to action. And that's a wrap for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning about how to practice English speaking and got some practical ideas you can start using immediately.
Yes, remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about speaking every day, making small improvements, and staying consistent. Even a few minutes of practice daily can make a big difference over time.
Exactly, Julia. And we'd love to hear from you, our listeners. Try out some of the methods we discussed, like talking to yourself, shadowing, or speaking with a friend, and share your experience in the comments.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you found today's tips helpful, share this episode with a friend who wants to improve their English speaking too.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember every word you speak brings you closer to fluency.
See you next time on the English Learning Podcast.